We want to welcome Diedrich Boyd, CEO and founder of TechSpark.
I started as a software developer, which came out to Nike, was going to be freelance, and landed doing B2B e-commerce with them. So we helped revamp that entire platform. We did a lot of what I would consider some pretty groundbreaking, innovative type work in that space during that time.
So primarily your business is mostly B2C. Are you in a particular vertical?
Not really, just retail. The sub niche is sportswear. So we do a lot of kind of sportswear and apparel, and we are also working into the luxury realm going forward. So
Okay. And so clients call you up and they're like, I need a better website. And you guys get to work.
they call us up and either they want to upgrade their platform, they're on the old version of Demandware and they want to move to the new Salesforce or storefront reference architecture for Salesforce, or they have an older version of Magento and they didn't realize they actually needed a lot of dev talent to run on Magento. They're like, hey, we really want to improve the way this looks. We want to add some more bells and whistles. We need, we really have a lot of integration work to get done. That's really where we shine. We have historically always been able to tackle complex integrations. And oftentimes when there are projects that are kind of in trouble or if they just require a little bit more hand-holding, that's where we work really well.
When you are upgrading someone, when they're coming to you and you're upgrading them and you're resetting them, what percentage go headless?
A fairly small percentage, actually. It is, and there's a good reason for that. The reason for that is it requires you to then carry a rather large development team.
Okay. Because you see companies saying, go headless, go headless, go headless. The ease of headless is a fad and a trend and a little bit of an untruth because from what I'm hearing you say, it is for mega enterprise clients. Mega.
If again, you're right. It is absolutely all the rave right now. Everyone's talking about going headless because I think people understand, like, if you want to be different, if you want to look a little different and really bring people in, invite your customers into a unique look and feel, that's kind of the only way you can do it. But again, the trade-off is you may go there and then you realize, holy cow, now my dev costs every quarter are 10 times what they used to be. I don't know that I want to be here. And then, again, so if you talk to some of the giants, we talk to Salesforce all the time and they'll tell us we have customers that started off headless and now they're going back to storefront because their dev costs are so high, right? They figured out we don't want to be in that world. Our brand is not something that has to be so unique that way that it's not a strategic advantage for us to do that. It's just costing us money. So I think if there's a lot of decision that has to go into it, right? It can work with a smaller company. You're just going to have to carry a larger technical organization.
In your professional opinion, looking forward, will there be a solution that allows for the benefits of headless?
So unless you want to outsource your support, right? You want to have us do a support contract or you want to have someone else do that, you have to have a lot of dev talent. Most of the packages, I call them packages, most of the platforms that are out there give you a lot of controls, a lot of things that you can do kind of on the back end administrative side to affect the front end and to turn certain things on and show and hide and change display width. They give you a lot of configuration. When you go headless, you lose a good bit of that because it's all custom code. And a lot of that, a lot of the code that controls a lot of that front end is baked into how the front end is done for the package, right? So their front end code, which generally speaking, you don't get access to that code.
So I am getting the sense, and this is why I asked you, because this is your world.
Sure.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm getting the sense that headless is more a fad and a trend than a strategy.
I don't know if I'd go that far. It is a trend right now. I would caution anyone who does not want to invest heavily on the technical side of their enterprise. I would strongly caution them against going headless. It does give you the ability to really hone and dial in that front end and make it look how you want it to look. It lets you do some really amazing things, but the trade-off is you're going to have to carry developers. and developers aren't cheap these days. I mean, maybe if you're a multinational, you can go offshore by all means, right? Nike, again, Nike's a good example. They're just custom. They don't use anything. They built it all. But if you knew how many developers Nike had, just on their B2C side, what they used to call digital. Well, at one point there were like 3,000 developers, not including managers, like 3,000 devs just across all their front end stuff, right? And that's a public number. I mean, it's just a giant it's a giant effort to do that if you're going to go custom, right?
Your front line with respect to ecom. And there's a lot of talk right now that the sort of that the industry is under a lot of pressure, going through a real cycle, a reset to some extent. Some have said the bottom has fallen out. I mean, and we see with Amazon as sort of the stalwart, the poster child of online, but it goes, that's, Amazon is unique and you can't really compare. But if you look at Shopify's results as well, where they have a wide net cast from, of course, independent up through enterprise. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? Where do you, what does your gut tell you?
That's a great question and a very astute observation for this space. Yes,
Gather yourself together.
yeah. Where do I even start here? I do think there is a reset, man. There's so many different things going on. Traditionally, when you look at e-commerce, what is it? It's a single player game. You are on the computer by yourself, clicking around, just hanging out. Sometimes it's fun. People go and do social media and it's fun and they kind of get to feel like they're interacting with people and doing all that stuff. But ecom is a single player game. So I think people are looking for a something different, right? And I think when it comes to e-commerce, bringing back community, making shopping's always been a social event. It's not social when you do it online, you know.
Yeah, I have never heard someone call ecom's single player game. I'm blown away by that. Because you're right, and there's pros and cons to that.
Right.
The con is the community. The answer is Web3. So ecom's Web2.
Right.
Then you get to the community in Web3. Okay, so what do you think ecom, as you and I know it, we've been in this industry, what do you think it's going to look like in Web3?
I think in Web3, at least, and I'm very bullish and I'm very opinionated here. I think Web3 will be more focused on people interacting, people being able to move their avatar around and talk to various people or ignore all the people and party up and talk to their friends only. My kids do this. Well, one of them do this all the time. He plays, all the various games and he's with his friends hanging out, talking about what's going on. They can see each other, hear each other. They can see what's going on the screen, and they're all way more connected than I think a lot of people are when in this kind of digital realm. So Web3 is going to be all about community. I think in Web3 you'll still have images, but I think being able to see the product, move it around, spin it around, a 3D rendition of it, communicate with your group of friends, right? If you want to squat up and go shopping, hey guys, look at this, check this out. What do you think? Oh, that's cool. Spin that around. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Oh, I don't like that. What about this one? And you all are looking at the same product one-on-one, talking to each other, like really being able to commune together, seeing those 3D products. And I think the thing that we're missing today from the start, and I'm going to say we're just scratching the surface now, is being able to bring all of those transactions and really do them inside of Web3 versus kicking you out of the experience back over into Web2 land to finish the job.
You're killing me with all these observations. It's awesome. Will TechSpark will you cross the threshold over to Web3 as far as your business service offering, or have you?
Absolutely. We started talking about this in detail probably 2.5, maybe even 3 years ago now. I love online games. We actually started our own internal development efforts We took a first shot using Unity engines to kind of bring a realistic environment to life and put 3D product in there and drop avatars. We actually hooked up to Ready Player Me for avatars. So we have a functioning POC that we've actually shared off and to several different people who are like, holy cow, they're walking around. You can talk and see each other, spin the product around in 3D. That development is well underway, and everything we've shown thus far, people have been just amazed at it. So when we were able to see, yes, we can do it, and Headless plays right into that because at the end of the day, what good is it if I can see the product, but then I click a link and I have to open another tab to then hopefully drop me on the right product, and then I got to do the same clicks again to put it in my cart, right? So we need the Headless APIs to talk to that e-commerce engine under the covers to keep them in the experience. Add it to your cart, go look at some more products, add that to your cart, click checkout right there. You have the screens that pop up and move on with life, and but you remain in that environment. So we're actually in development now on bringing that platform to life so we can actually start pulling people in. We're a Salesforce partner, so we'll probably do the first integration on a Salesforce Commerce Cloud. Obviously, we'll look at some other platforms as well. I love it because it's all about, create the environment that fits. One of our environments is a beach scene, or it's like we call it the Cocoa Dome. Like Cocoa Dome, what does that mean? Well, it's a glass dome and it's supported by coconut trees that are domed, to make the dome happen. That's the support structure you see. And at the top, they're the coconuts. And when you go inside, if you look up, you see the coconuts, and that's where the lighting comes from. And so all the clothes are on there, and it's this realistic, palm trees outside and sand and some seagrass and all that good stuff. But it's beachwear. And so like it sets the mood and it sets the tone, and you can do music and all those types of things. So it puts you in that environment. And then if you walk outside and there's a transport tunnel, like, well, what's this tunnel? You jump in the tunnel, you go up, you end up on top of a mountain, and it's the mountain store. Well, what's in the mountain store? Snow gear, right? Because it's cold and you see snow and you hear those the effects of like kind of the wind blowing and all that good stuff. So it actually changes your entire frame of reference. Like I wouldn't put bathing suits in the mountain store because it doesn't fit, right? So that's the thing about being immersive, right? So we call it immersive commerce, but that's the whole vibe. We want to create a vibe, and so whatever it is you're shopping for, whatever you're looking for, we want to make sure you're in that frame of reference. If you walk into a Louis Vuitton store in Paris, in a luxury store, there's a smell, there's a certain sounds, the lighting's done a certain way, your mood changes, right? So we need to figure out how to make that immersive nature, bring that to life in kind of this Web3 world.
Do you foresee at least equal amount of time being spent on iCommerce as e-commerce? Do you see the pendulum eventually going more towards iCommerce? And if this is a 5-year landscape or whatever,
Mhm.
what are you hearing from the market?
Great question. I think it will take time before we see a long pendulum swing. If you are looking for a product and you know what you want, the fastest way is going to be as it is today. Go run your search, go through your filters, narrow it down, boom, there's a product, put in my cart, and I gotta go. Right? If you want to explore, or if you're in the information gathering phase, right? If we look at some of the statistics, we talk about how people shop. 73% of people use, multiple channels to shop. iCommerce, I believe, is going to become one of those first places you go because now it's content rich. I can share and get opinion from my friends. If I can't make it to the physical store, I can go into an iCommerce store and there are influencers there are associates there. If it's a smaller brand and there's not maybe a solopreneur, but a designer, maybe the designer does live in shop Tuesdays. So they're there for 2 hours on a Tuesday. You can actually go talk to the designer. So when you're in that information gathering phase, I see iCommerce being like literally jumping way to the forefront for you to explore, get opinions, share, and commune and talk about it. And if you're ready to go then there, go ahead and put that in your cart. But you'll still use kind of traditional ecom. But I see them playing along side by side with each other. Maybe you start out on the 2D experience. You're looking at a product, you're like, ooh, I have quite, well, what's this go to the virtual shop and see this thing. You click the button, it brings you in the same product. That's kind of how I see it. I see them going hand in hand and just working together in tandem.
What I'm hearing is a huge bifurcation between search and
Yes.
discovery.
Hmm.
Search, boom, laundry detergent, just give me the best price, pack
Yep.
it, go. Discovery is, well, I'm not really sure. I'd like to take a vacation. I want to go to the Caribbean. The Caribbean is
Yes.
50 islands. So
Right.
you're a travel website, and now you're going to click through to get through to some immersive, etc.
I love that you brought up kind of destination. We're also working on a deal to bring to life some a digital twin in Dubai and Qatar. And so part of that is go visit Dubai, maybe check out the museum. Medical tourism is a huge industry there. Maybe you go and tour the facility first. Talk to the doctors, talk to the receptionists. You can do all of that in these environments without physically, from where I am, having to fly halfway around the world, right? So your trip to go there to get it done is your trip there, right? So you can save on that cost, and you can really, really get a feel for, do I like the facility? Did I really like that doctor? Do I think the care I'm going to get is going to meet my expectation? Same thing with a destination. Maybe it's in the Swiss Alps. It's really hard to photograph some of these places because the view that you get, the lens is not quite wide enough. Pictures just don't do it justice. Drones have trouble. Sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate. There are a lot of challenges. Well, if I can create a digital twin of that, I can go tour this entire resort on the side of a mountain and see what it's like. And then, yes, I want to be there. Book my room. And again, why leave? Just go over here and book your room right there and book it with the concierge that you're talking to. So I see these as just, there's a huge blending of almost every industry into this space. It doesn't have to just be retail, but the way that I think about it, even if it's tourism, even if it's that doctor visit, there is some transactionality that has to occur there. So in my mind, there's still some transactional work to get done to integrate into the systems that people have perfected over the last 30 years and built up, and they work. Why we don't need to replace those? They all have APIs. Talk to the API, get it done, and just show them, hey, it's done here, and we'll send them an email. It's your confirmation, right? And so none of that changes at all, will still remain. So this is just going to make, in my mind, it will make lives easier. It will make the overall experience better. And like you said, it'll just blend all those experiences, store, person, 2D, all together.
What I find interesting is that education and information is so much more important now before making a sale. And so many brands and businesses allow customers to leave their site to go to YouTube to get information. Bye. Bye. See you never. You need to increase the amount of information and keep them satisfied with higher and higher levels of information.
Why let someone, or why even make it so that someone has to leave the site to go get more information about that thing they're looking at? They want those reviews. They want that UGC, that user generated content. If you have the video there for people to see, oh, I have bought this and it's amazing. Look at this, and showing it, or they can ask questions. People can reply to those questions that have it. If you can bring all that to the forefront, your dwell time goes sky high. And we know if dwell time is high, they're going to convert, right? All of this stuff matters. I think you're 100% spot on. Keep them there, reduce the friction, right? Because once they leave, they're gone. I mean, they might come back, but yeah, chances are they're gone. Yeah.
We have a short attention span. We may find out information, but we may go to a different website, just lazily end up somewhere else that sells a similar product, or features the same hotel, but it's a different supplier, different
Right.
concierge, and we wouldn't even know the difference.
Right.
uh,
Right.
we are at our limit. This was an amazing conversation.
Wow.
I love talking to you, and I hope to do so again. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Super
Thank you,
excited.
Diedrich.
Yeah. Excellent. Yep.